There's no new snow today. We get small breaks in this life from time to time from new precipitation. And I think in those moments it's good to recount all of our blessings in moments of peace and quiet. I think always about the men of God whose cells are smaller than mine. And so, even though I'm not the most educated or domesticated, I do try to keep my cell clean out of respect. But as men, we know that bathrooms are hard to keep clean over time. Eventually there's a splash here or there. So we do our best to purchase the right products and remove the filth when we can see it. In Psalm 73, it says, "As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. My flesh and my heart faileth, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." I have been blessed in my life to see many beautiful images. But just like our pursuit of happiness in this country, we must trust our deepest discernment to know that they are mirages in the desert. When you're honest with yourself about those tangible failures, it doesn't hurt that bad, because your love was honest. And your effort was tangible. Better to live on the corner of a rooftop than in a mansion with a quarrelsome woman. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, and thou shalt not make any other graven images. A lot of times when we analyze the choices men make about their partners, we see a visual representation of their own insecurity. And my insecurities are well documented. But I think subconsciously I knew that publicizing those insecurities would remove their power, not only from myself, but from those who may not have the freedom to be so bold in their failure. In the movie Fight Club, there was an assignment I never quite understood when I was younger. Brad Pitt's character, and I do mean character, instructs the original members of Fight Club to start a fight and lose as an assignment. It's very hard to swim against the tide that way. But I think it's impossible to have the mantle of Elijah without completely destroying the prophets of Baal. Lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life. That is the trinity that the devil presents to us in these 70 to 80 years that we have. And he convinces us the spectrums that we identify with are skin deep or perhaps a few inches in either direction. But I believe those spectrums go much deeper. The lust of the flesh is not merely a desire for procreation or supremacy. It's ironic that we desperately desire approval of our nakedness, just to cover our nakedness. And we think the beauty of someone else's nakedness will shield us somehow. And 80% of the time it works out that way. But if we're going to take a test seriously, and we're going to take a shot at that other 20%, it should be for the most important test. I'm terrified of the pulpit. And I do mean terrified. You've all been witness to the expressions of my infant-like fear. So you know this alpha on my shirt is a joke. I wear my impotence on my sleeve daily. I am no champion. I'm sorry to anyone in Dallas that was made uncomfortable by my presence. I wanted to learn as privately as possible. And I would have stayed in a corner of a hut in Minnesota if I could have. You would have never seen me. After the so-called flood, Noah gets drunk one night. Most likely from the wine of the garden that he tilled and planted. And it says, his second son mocked his nakedness to his brothers. And it was his brothers that did the honorable thing and walked backwards with a sheet to cover the nakedness of their father. Oh Lord, give my brothers the best quality sheet. Let me alone bear their shame. It's a privilege to do this for you. I love you all very much. The images I saw, fraudulent though they may have been, were like the food of ravens. And if one arrow against my people is avoided, it was a worthy death. Please do not go overboard in your construction of metaphors going forward. The Lord will provide for me. Be at peace with your own burdens. When we go into the cross exchange store, we often see a small cross in the corner and get very excited. And then we realize afterwards that that was the cross we walked in the room with. So once again, I walk into this room and out of it with the exact same cross I started with. And I give you my impotence as a thank you for all you've carried for me. Thank you again.